Hey guys, I'm Parag Patel. If you don't know who I am, you can just go back to my introduction and find out. Today I'm mainly going to be talking about continental drift. So let's get this video started. Well, you must be wondering what continental drift is. Continental drift. Well, continental drift is the theory that the Earth's continents have moved over geologic time relative to each other, thus appearing to have drifted across the ocean bed. The speculation that continents might have drifted was first put forward by Abraham Ortelius in 1596. Continental drift describes one of the earliest ways geologists thought continents moved over time. Today, the theory of continental drift has been replaced by the science of plate tectonics. The theory of continental drift is most associated with the scientist Alfred Wegener. In the early 20th century, Wegener published a paper explaining his theory that the continental land masses were drifting across the Earth, sometimes plowing through oceans and into each other. He called this movement continental drift. Well, you must be wondering who Alfred Wegener is. Well, Alfred Lothar Wegener was a German poet, researcher, geologist, and a meteorologist. During his lifetime, he was primarily known for his achievement in meteorology and as a pioneer of polar research. But today, he's most remembered as the originator of the theory of continental drift by hypothesizing in 1912 that the continents are slowly drifting around the Earth. His hypothesis was controversial and widely rejected by mainstream geology until the 1950s, when numerous discoveries such as paleomagnetism provided strong support for continental drift, and thereby a substantial basis for today's model of plate tectonics. Wegener was involved in several expeditions to Greenland to study polar air circulation before the existence of the jet stream was accepted. The expedition participants made many meteorology observations and were the first to overwinter on the inland Greenland ice sheet and the first to bore ice cores on a moving Arctic glacier. Evidence for continental drift. Wegener was convinced that all of Earth's continents were once part of an enormous single landmass called Pangea. Wegener, trained as an astronomer, used biology, botany, and geology to describe Pangea and continental drift. For example, fossils of the ancient reptile Mesosaurus are only found in southern Africa and South America. Mesosaurus was a freshwater reptile, only 1 meter long, could not have swum the Atlantic Ocean. The presence of Mesosaurus suggests a single habitat with many lakes and rivers. Wegener also studied plants fossils from the rigid Arctic archipelago of Svalbard, Norway. These plants were not the hardy specimen adapted to survive in the Arctic climate. These fossils were of tropical plants. These fossils are which adapted to a much warmer, more humid environment. The pressure of this fossil suggests Svalbard once had a tropical climate. Finally, Wegener studied the stratigraphy of different rocks and mountains. The east coast of South America and the west coast of Africa seem to fit together like pieces of jigsaw puzzle. And Wegener discovered their rock layers fit just as clearly. South America and Africa were not the only continents with similar geology. Wegener discovered that the Appalachian Mountains of the eastern United States, for instance, were geologically related to the Caledonian Mountains of Scotland. That's all for today, guys. This was the part 1 of continental drift. Now we talk about rest of the continental drift.